Hello everyone. Today we are going to see the client-side scripting in ServiceNow. I'm going to focus mainly on the client script and UI policies. Before starting with the client scripts, I'm going to give you the general introduction on the scripting in ServiceNow. So the scripting in ServiceNow falls into two categories. One is the client-side scripting, another one is the server-side scripting. The client-side scripting can be done via the client script, UA policy, UA action, UA scripts, etc. The server-side scripting can be done through business rule and script include. These are some of the use cases in which you can use the client scripts. The client scripts are generally used to generate alerts, confirmations, messages, or you can also use the client script to populate a form field in response to another field value. You can highlight a form field. You can validate some data. You can modify choice list option. You can show or hide some fields or section using the client script. So validate form data. Example for this is the date field. You can specify the user to fill the future date. Suppose the user has filled the past date. The system can automatically throw an error and ask the user to fill the future date. This can be done through the client script. You can also highlight a field. For example, if the user is a VIP user, then you can highlight the field in some color, or you can add decoration to the some field using the client script. So generally speaking, the client script here in the word itself you can see scripts. So client script generally requires scripting, whereas the UA policies don't require any scripting. So let's move on to the types of client scripts. So the types of client scripts are the four types. One is the on load, on change, on submit, and on select. The first three applies to the form view, whereas the fourth one applies to the list view. Today I am going to demo the client script creation and its uses in my personal instance. So I requested a personal instance from the ServiceNow developer official website. You can also request a one if you don't have any instance. So in your personal instance, go to the left navigator and search for client scripts. If you type the client script, you can see it will show you two things. One is the catalog client script, the other one is the client script. Catalog client scripts will be applied to the service catalog, whereas the one and the system definition is applied to the tables. So here you can see the table and the client scripts name. So the client script creation can be done through just by clicking the new button. If you just click the new button, you can create a client script. So these are the fields that you need to fill to create a new client scripts. So the fields are name, just fill the name for the client script and select the table. The table in which you need to apply the client script. For example, you can type incident. And UA type is nothing but the UA in which you want to apply this client script. If you choose a desktop, this client script will be applied to desktop or PC. But if you choose mobile or service portal, then the client script is applied to mobile or service portal. If you click all, it applies to both. I'm using desktop. Okay. And type is nothing but the type of client script that you are going to use. As I said, there are four types: on cell edit, on change, on load, on submit. On cell edit applies to the list view, on change, on load, on submit applies to the form view. Application is nothing but the application in which you are creating this client script. Active is nothing but whether the client script is active or inactive. Inherited is nothing but if you check this checkbox, then this client script will also apply to the child tables of the incident. If you uncheck this, it applies only to the table that you have selected. Global is nothing but if the global is checked, it applies to all the views in the client script. If it's unchecked, you can specify the view, and then the client scripts apply to only that view that you have specified here. And description is not required, but you can mention the user, or you can describe the client scripts in the description. Messages, it's nothing but instead of hard coding it in the message in the script, you can use this message tab and you can call this message in the script. Isolate script is nothing but if you want to perform DOM manipulation, then you can use this isolate script field. Okay, now I'm going to create one simple client script for the incident table. I already created one. I'm going to show you how I created that one. So this is the incident form view. So I created a client script on change client script for the field subcategory. So when the subcategory is changed to email, then it will hide the configuration item field. If it is the values are other values other than email, then it will show the CA. Here you can see this I configured via client script. So if you just click on configure, right click on the context menu and click on configure and click on client scripts, you can find all the client scripts that are created for the incident table. So this is the one I created. So from the name itself you can understand on change of subcategory hide CA. I selected the table as incident and desktop as UI, so it applies only to the UI. Type is on change and field name is subcategory, and active global. So change of the subcategory, the value is email. If the new value is email, then set the and show the configuration, hide the configuration item. If it's email, then set display false. If it is other than email, then set display true. That's why if I change it to email, it's if I change it to email, it's hiding the configuration. If I change it to other than email, it's showing the configuration item. How did I done this? I did this with the use of gform. So gform is nothing but glide form class, which is a class OOB class that is provided by the ServiceNow itself. You can use this class To retrieve a field value on a form, or you can hide a field, make a field read only, write a message on a form or field, add fields to a choice, remove fields from a choice list. So if you just type the glide form ServiceNow in the Google, you can find this API. Where you can find all the methods where you can find all the methods that are offered by this gform. So you can find gform.add decoration, gform that add error message. There are so many things. You can find this in this link. So I just use the gform to set to hide the field using the set display method. And the next class offered by the ServiceNow is glide user. You can use this glide user class to get the current logged in user information and roles. One more thing is on for each type the body of the script will be changing. So if I change the type to on cell edit, you can see the function name is on cell edit and the parameters are sysID, table, old values, new value, callback. But if I change it to on change, the function name will change to on change and the parameters are different. And if I change it to on load, it has no parameter but the function name is on load. And on submit has also no parameter but the function name is on submit. So on cell edit has the parameters in plurals because it applies to list. In list we have so many records, so that's why the values are in plurals. And on change singular because it applies to the form view, and form view is nothing but it's just a single piece of record. I'm going to explain what's the difference between on load, on change and on submit. On load is nothing but on if you want to perform some action after the load and after refreshing the form, then you can use the on load client script. But if you want to do some action on changing some field, then you need to use on change client script. If you want to perform some action before submitting the form to the server, then you need to use on submit client script. On submit client scripts are generally used when you are saving the form, updating the form, or performing some UI action like resolve. When you click resolve button, you can perform on submit clients on submit. You can use the on submit client script to perform some action. So these are all related to the client script. Now let's move to the UI policy. UA policies are and UA policy action. Like client script, UA policies are client-side logic that governs form and form field behavior. Unlike client scripts, UA policies do not always require scripting. UA policy actions are client-side logic in a UA policy used to set three field attributes: mandatory, visible, read-only. Although you can use scripts to set these attributes using the glide form, UA policy action do not require scripting to set the field attribute. So the main difference between the client script and the UA policies are: the client script requires scripting as I said, but UA policies won't require any scripting. Without scripting, as an administrator, you can create an UA policy. You can create the UA policy, but you can perform only three main actions. They are, you can make the field mandatory, or you can make the field visible, or you can make it as read only. Though you can script in a UA policy, generally speaking, UA policies are used to perform only these three actions, either to make mandatory, visible, or read only. I'm going to show you some simple example for the UA policy. So this is the incident form. So incident form here, suppose if you want to make a field read only, then you can based on some other field, then you can use the UA policy. Generally, ServiceNow recommends to use UA policy instead of client script because UA policies don't require any scripting. So I'll show you some simple example. So we can take this as an example. When the subcategory is email, make the channel field as read only. Set channel to read only if state is not new. And go. So here you can see So this is the UA policy which we created. Set channel to read only if state is not new. So right now when it's new state, it's not read only, but if we change it to other state that is not new, then it becomes read only. Cannot select any options from it. So to create an UA policy, so you need to fill the name of the UA policy in the short description. UA policy don't have any name field, so you need to put the name in the short description. Set channel to read only if state is not new. When to apply, just put the condition here, state is not new. And global is similar to what I said in the client script. If the global is checked, it applies to all the view. The global is unchecked, it applies to the specific view. You can mention the view here. It's clearly mentioned here. And on load, if the on load is checked, then the UA policy is also applied on when the form is loaded. If it's unchecked, it's not applied when the form is loaded. It applied only to on change. Reverse if false. Reverse if no, false is nothing but right now if I change it to new, it is again reversing it. It's because of this field. If the reverse is false is unchecked, it won't revert back. I can show this. Right now if I change it to on hold, it's become reader, and again after if I changing to new, it's changing. But if I uncheck this and if I save this in the UA policy, now if I reload, refresh this page, and if I try again, it's read only. Now again if I change it, it's not changing. It's because of this. Let's change to back. Let's change back. Now I reverted the change. So now if I change it, it's now read only. Now if I change again to new, it's not read only. And this is where you need to mention which field you need to make read only. So here you just need to click the new and you need to add the UA policy action. The UA policy related list actions are nothing but if you want to hide the related list like task, SLA, affected SCAs, impacted service, child incident, then you need to use this UA policy related list action. Script. You can also script in the UA policy, but that is actually not recommended, or and it's also not required in most of the cases, but if it's required you can use it. You just need to click on transcript and you need to select the UA type, desktop, mobile or serviceable on, and execute true. If the condition is true, then it's applied. If the condition is false, then this part of the script will be applied. You can also convert the UA policy to a data policy. So that's all about UA policy. So now the last thing, the difference between the client script and UA policy. So execute on form load. Both client script and UA policies applies to execute on form load. Execute on form same as on save or submit on update. Yes, on submit client script is executed on submit or save or update, but UA policies will not execute. Execute on form field value change. Yes. Have access to old field value. Client script have access to old field value, but UA policy don't have any access to the old value. Execute after client script. Client script usually execute first and UA policy execute after that. Set field attribute with no scripting. No, yeah, UA policies can be used to set field just with the condition, but even with no condition, you can you can perform some action in the UA policy, whereas client script generally require scripting, require control over order of execution. Yes, yes. Though there is no order field in the client script, you can customize, you can configure the form and you can add the order field in the client script. So order can be mentioned both in the client script and UA policy. Order is nothing but the order of execution. If there are two UA policy, the one with the lowest order will execute first, and the one with the highest of order will execute at last. That's all related to the client side scripting in ServiceNow. Thank you.